Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Living Arts. I'm your host, Jackie Suarez. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight, as usual, we have a smoking band. They're called Skin Against Metal. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome to the show Maurice, Nanette, and Yuli. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having us, Jackie.
No, I was thrilled to get, I haven't had very many Spanish bands, and I don't want to identify you as that, but just the Afro-Cuban drumming and the rich history you bring to it was an opportunity for me to, have that on the show. And it's weird because my stepfather actually used to play with Fajaldo, and I guess he was a well-known flute player, and they traveled the world, but he doesn't speak English, so I couldn't, and I don't speak very good Spanish. So I haven't had an opportunity to explore this type of music, this genre.
Right.
So welcome, and we're going to start with Maurice.
Okay.
So you're not at the dentist, Maurice. It's going to be okay.
It's okay.
I want to hear all about everything about you. I want to, first of all, because you are a native of Milan, and you immigrated, and you both actually have gone to Juilliard. So we're just kind of going to go down the line here.
Actually, he's the Juilliard guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got that wrong.
It's okay.
But tell me, first of all, about just your experience of being in the music scene here in New York, because you guys have been around for a long time. You had a couple dance singles that you did back in the 80s. And so tell me about the whole inception of the band and how you also married. So how did that whole thing go down?
Well, the marriage went down first.
Not quite.
Not quite? Oh! She's shouting out already. So you used the music as a way to, woo her.
Well, the music was what attracted me, in the first place to her place. But exactly.
So you're a pianist. You're a classically trained pianist.
Yes.
So were you on a scholarship to the
No,
Juilliard?
actually, I had just graduated from Milan, the conservatory, and I always wanted to. Growing up, I always listened to jazz, and I always wanted to be here. I knew that I was going to find what I really needed in music, and so I just basically took my backpack and came to New York, and shortly after, about a month after, I met my wife. And then I went to Juilliard and so on and so forth. I was studying conducting at the time over there. And we started playing immediately. I would say our very first band and our very first recording, we started practically 2 months, we were together. And
so that jumped off
and we never stopped, ever since.
So what were you doing musically before the two of you got together? Because it seems it's more of an electronica type experience, from what I have listened to. You're first in the heat of the night, and Step Into My World were dance singles.
Right.
So how did you put that together?
Well, that grew out of other experiences, because when we got together, people they joke about how he comes from this classical background, and then I was raised in the Bronx. I'm born and raised in the Bronx, so I brought the other side that he needed. That little
a little flavor.
The little flavor, the Latin side and the R&B, and then so it sort of it just blended. And then that's how we just began exploring different things. We did we had some jazz ensembles that we worked with many different musicians, and then we explored the dance world, and then had a couple of hits in that genre. And then it just exploded from there. We just started exploring in all different genres, all different avenues, and bringing all these talents together, all our experiences together.
I guess the Afro-Cuban element came in a little bit later, although she grew up, listening to, Latin music, and but I guess it was about 2 or 3 years, in our relation that she decided to
Well, then I got very deeply involved in this. So that was another element. I was brought up with the music, but then to actually begin to study it and understand it, and it was a whole other a serious study. It wasn't
as carefree as someone might think.
Exactly.
There's a lot of work and a lot of. I mean, I think of drumming as being very much for the ear,
Yes.
and being in tune with the rhythm. And it's not for everybody, because I've seen some people do it very poorly.
Right.
Namely me.
Oh, you don't know that. You might,
So
you know.
playing the congas is not for me. But
Yeah.
explain exactly what it is that you're doing now, because you're also trying to teach drumming to preschoolers, and you have a whole thing that you have going on with that.
Well, we one of the other things we branched off and is education, and what we did was we developed this program called Talk and Drum Language and Music Program, and what we do is I teach preschoolers speech and language through rhythm and through instrument playing and creative movement, and so we're in our 7th year now, and it's exploded. I mean, we were at one point in Brooklyn, and we were in Manhattan, and we're practically all over Westchester. So we're looking to expand that as well because of the success of that program. Because it's not just about learning language, it's really about being exposed to more music, and it's a multi-sensory, and it's a learning ready program where by the time they hit kindergarten, they're like, they have all this richness, this language and music and movement and everything, and it all comes together in this program.
So the children, actually, that sounds like a fantastic thing. Actually, I have a niece that's school age, and I know that she would very much appreciate that, because right now that she's such an open, just so open to all of the arts,
Right.
and musical theater, and that sounds like, a fantastic opportunity for her as well. Are you being funded by the city, or is this within conjunction with the city itself?
We do have a nonprofit, but we have it's been. We've been backing it all this time since the inception of the program. We have been, putting in all the work, writing music for it, because the music is highly specialized for this program, because it comes together with the movement and the language, and I also included American Sign Language in it. So it's highly specialized,
Can one, I mean, obviously, I guess, could you follow sheet music to drumming? I mean...
Oh, yes, there is music, sheet music for drumming. Yeah, absolutely.
But these guys aren't prepared for that, so it's something...
The little ones?
Yeah, scaled down.
This is more organic. They go strictly by their feeling, by listening, it's the best time to teach, because they just, it's just, everything they do is natural. There's nothing, they're little sponges. As a matter of fact, that's the best time to teach language, any language, English, Spanish, American Sign Language. They're just so open,
So I wanted to give our friend here, Yuli, short for Ulysses. Now you are also you're a part of Skin Against Metal. So tell our audience about the band and how you guys got together and what your focus is now and where you plan to be.
Well, I'll give you a little history. I met Maurice and Annette about 20 years ago, and Maurice runs a recording studio, and so do I. So we've been trading musical skills for the better part of that time. I came to Skin Against Metal about 2 years ago.
For the second time.
For the second time, that is correct. And the music, as we mentioned before, is a mix of a whole lot of techno. There is the afro side of it, the rhythmic side of it, the percussion side of it is very prevalent. It's a huge influence of it in the project. Of course, we could not play without taking care or taking advantage of Maurice's classical and jazz skills. It's just a huge color, if you will, on the project. I bring, even though I did study jazz and whatnot, I think I'm bringing another side to it, which is like the rock fusion type pop side. And the one thing that is, I think, the common thread for us in music is the desire we have to emote with people, to connect at an emotional level. Because, you know, when you play jazz and you play classical and when you can get, especially when you have the amount of knowledge, let's say that Marisa has accumulated, or I have accumulated, or Nanette has accumulated through her studies, you can get out there. And people at times would not be able to relate. And so I think the common thread in what we're going for is that emotional connection that we're trying to drive. Yeah.
So I think that'd be very, very important. I think from what I've seen of your performances, it's a cacophony of sound that is gorgeous. It really is.
Thank you.
And it's like a journey.
Thank
almost.
you. Yes.
It seems like you build up the tempo a little bit and you move it and it changes, and it's not something that seems static. So as you prepare for your performances, is there something actually that, well, these are the songs that we're going to be playing, or is it something a little more freewheeling?
Well, if I will, one of the big sides that keeps our project fresh is this ability we have to come together, rehearse, prepare, and then not follow the rules, so to speak. So you'll have at any given point,
forget about it. You're kind of planning to do something, and then everybody just shows up and you go with the feeling.
Yes. And it wouldn't be surprising to have a song that has a section that we'd never played before. Right,
because the spirit is just moving you and you just want to go off.
Absolutely. I mean, improvisation is a very big part of our music, although we are very structured, but we always, as you mentioned, because we're trying to connect on an emotional level, and we connect with each other on that level, and so whatever the music takes us at that moment, we'll go with it.
Yeah, I'm sure the audience appreciates it. It's like a great groovy, feeling.
It is a beautiful thing to be able to connect at that level. Yeah.
So now you mentioned that you have a few places that you're going to be performing. You have something going on at the Peekskill Coffee Shop. It seems as though you have, that space might be a little too small for you. So there are other members of the band as well. So why don't you tell our audience about that as well?
Well, this is the nucleus here, because because we compose together. We come together and we build sections of songs and sections of pieces, and we bring them together. The other elements of the group, say the drummer, and they come in afterwards, and we sort of direct them and bring them in, But this is basically the nucleus. Well,
yeah, and also the mainly the drummer used to play with us with the very first, Skin Against Metal, which was called something else at the time.
What was it called?
It was called Girotondo.
Oh, yes.
But Scott Luna is the drummer that we talk about, and he's basically recording the tracks with us. Simply, he's not with us all the time. He couldn't be here definitely tonight because he lives 2 hours away. So that's a little bit of a problem.
Right. So it's not just as easy for him to show up.
Yeah, exactly. When we have performances, he's there. But and when we record, definitely he's there. It's a big part. And he recorded the whole first album with us, Vertigo, and he's been playing with us also for the past 20 years.
Do you find, as special as your music is, that are you satisfied with the commercial response, or do you think people are still trying to kind of fit you into a mold or kind of pigeonhole you and figure out what your music is?
Well, I'm
go ahead.
you want to take it?
Go ahead.
No, I do. Yeah, it is. I do believe that people are having trouble. We are having trouble. If you ask me, what do you guys play? I'm like, everything. As we were talking before the show started, we were explaining, it's a little bit of jazz, a little bit of rock, a little bit of fusion, a little bit of house music, a little bit of this, and that's just about every band, every artist you ask out there. So yeah, we are having a little bit of trouble. The thing though that is working out best is that emotional connection, because people are walking in, they cannot really pinpoint what style we're playing, but we've in and out so many little things. They're always coming and praising the fact that we're not playing the regular mold, but they're still connecting. We're playing complicated harmonies, but yet we're still going for the jugular, we're still going for the heart. Mm-hmm. So they're still connecting, and so it's been great.
Well, I think to identify yourselves and to most people want something that's easily to digest. Well, what kind of music are you playing? Well, we're playing all these different elements, but I think once someone is actually a fan, they're going to be a fan and they're going to follow you. But the public is. They want things to be a little simple. Sure. And they want to, and you have to kind of get your point across so quickly, so that the attention span of the average person is like of a fruit fly.
Yeah.
It's like, well, who are you? What are you?
Yep.
And if it takes too long, okay, that took too long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
Latin jazz alternative. That's what it is.
A Latin jazz. There you go. Alternative. But I mean,
yes.
how do you techno? Because I've been a fan of techno for a long time. How do you incorporate that into your music? Is that a pre-recorded CD or something you have playing while you're playing?
No. We actually have different instruments that we utilize. Some is we use loopers. Some.
What's a looper?
A looper basically is a machine that allows you to record live, and it will basically play back a certain amount of measure, whatever you like, whatever you like to record. So it could be 2 measures, 5 measures, 15 measure. Once you wanted to loop and to go back and to replay that section, you just basically press the pedal again, and it will play, and then will allow you to play on top of what you just recorded. So it's a very organic still way of making music. It's not a pre-recorded track. You put a CD on and you play. It's not at all. Yeah. Right, and that goes for me on keyboard, but it goes for Yuli as well on guitar.
Do you find that the electronic part of your performance outweighs the craftsmanship of your individual instruments? Let's say, is it more of an electronic sound?
I don't think so at all.
No, it's mostly a canvas to the organic element that we bring. And that's one of the things that people connect on while we are playing. They'll come and comment how Maurice and I are playing, and with a look we take the song down or up, or with Nanette and so on and so forth. So the organic element, this is just a canvas, it's just something behind.
Yeah, it's not the most important thing. It's one of the things, it's like a color,
Right, I think when you see most bands, and just like the old style regular band that you would be looking at, I think the incorporation of a lot of technology has brought music to a different level, and not in a negative way, in a cool way, because basically, if you don't have the wind chime sound available to you, then you can have that be a part of the performance as well. But that was a simple way to explain it,
Yeah, sure.
But I think people's ears right now are just so used to the techno sound, so it's hard to if you hear acoustic instruments, I think people they're already what's the word I'm trying to, they're so used to it, that strong constant beat that is that is, I hate we use the word fake, but that's and so we're so programmed in that way. So our job as composers and instrumentalists is to bring it all together in the most organic way possible, so that the electronics become part of a composition, as opposed to, well, here's the beat and now we'll just do whatever on top of it, just so that it just keeps going. Now, I mean, we do a lot of classical things with techno, so that's where the fun starts.
Well, it looks like you guys have a lot of fun when you're playing.
Oh,
yes.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You have a ball.
And I'll be there at the Peekskill Coffee Shop.
Oh,
Okay.
excellent.
So be on your P's
We're
and Q's.
looking forward.
So I want we've only got a couple of minutes left, and I want tell our audience how to get a hold of you. Besides you said there was another event on October 27th.
Yes.
Give our audience like those little sound bites right there that they can take away from this.
Yeah. Well, I'd just like to mention also that we have a performance space in Yorktown where we're based, and we are trying to start an experimental series. So we're also looking concerts. So we're featuring other artists who have something really cool to share with an audience that's not so commercial. So alternative, absolutely, even experimental.
That is through our nonprofit organization, which is Talking Arts Foundation.
Okay, so the Talking Arts Foundation. So September 8th at the Peekskill Coffee Shop, and October 27th
at our
your performance space.
Yeah.
What's the address there?
It's 2481 Evergreen Street, Yorktown Heights.
Okay, so are you living in Westchester as well?
I do. I live in Ossining.
You live in Ossining? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. There was something else I wanted to mention to you. Are you guys going to be putting together an album in the future, or something that the audience should be looking for?
As a matter of
how
fact,
can they get a hold of your music?
Well, as a matter of fact, we just pre-released the first cut of the new album, and you can listen to it on SoundCloud.
Is it an iTunes thing?
And not yet on iTunes, but on SoundCloud, and it's totally free, as well as our site, as well as
Reverb Nation.
Reverb Nation.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can go to Reverb Nation.
And the name of it is Pictures of Virgilio.
Pictures of Virgilio.
Yeah.
And what's the website where, who's the main contact person, or if they wanted to book you for something, or anyone wanted to contact you to go to your space?
Yeah, either Nanette or myself.
And what's the website?
The website.
It's skinagainstmetal.com.
Okay. And that's the general way that you guys can be reached.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been a real pleasure talking to all of you
Our
All of
pleasure.
and hearing your story.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And I'll be seeing your performance soon.
Okay.
Great.
Thanks.
To my fans out there, this is our anniversary. We've been doing this a year, and it's with great pleasure that I thank all the people in the crew and the people behind the scenes. Mom, thank you very much. I hope you find the show entertaining. We want to keep bringing you great people like this and telling their stories. And if you'd like to be on the show, please let me know. YouTube, Living Arts in Westchester. That's another thing. We're going to be changing our name to Living Arts in Westchester instead of just Living Arts. Thank you for supporting us, and keep tuning in. Peace.
shades of blue on your canvas there, and it's odd how they will blend to tell of your despair. Every stroke of every brush will know you deviate from a line. In a ravel of the thoughts you show, I can see definite lines. Portrait of that man, I think I caught a restless sigh. Always sits to watch his maker draw an abstract sky.